Have you ever started speaking English and suddenly every word disappeared?
You knew the answer, but your mind became completely blank.
The other person waited while you searched for the perfect sentence.
1 second passed, then 3, and then the silence felt enormous.
Your heart started beating faster and your face became warm.
You thought, please, brain, give me one English word.
But the harder you tried, the more difficult speaking became.
Finally, you said, sorry, my English is not very good.
Later, the perfect answer came to you when the conversation had ended.
Suddenly, you remembered every word while brushing your teeth that evening.
If this happens to you, you are definitely not alone.
Long pauses are one of the most common problems English learners experience.
They do not mean you are unintelligent or bad at English.
They usually mean your brain is trying to do too much.
You are translating, choosing words, checking grammar, and fighting nervous thoughts.
That is a lot of work during one simple conversation.
But today, we will help you make that process easier.
You will learn how to keep talking while your brain prepares.
You do not need to speak quickly to sound confident.
You only need simple tools that keep the conversation moving.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn English with Us.
I'm Adam, and I'm very happy you're joining us today.
And I'm Sara. This is our English-speaking confidence series.
Here, you can practice English without pressure, judgment, or embarrassing tests.
Today's topic is how to speak English without long pauses.
We will explore real situations and practice useful phrases together.
Take a slow breath and relax your shoulders before we begin.
You do not need to understand or remember everything immediately.
Simply listen, repeat, and choose the ideas that help you.
By the end, you will have a practical speaking plan.
First, let's understand why long pauses happen during English conversations.
The first common reason is translating every sentence in your head.
Someone asks a question, and you translate it into your language.
Then, you create an answer and translate it back into English.
After that, you check the grammar and search for better words.
By then, the other person may think you have finished.
Your brain is not empty. It is actually extremely busy.
It is like a small office where everyone is shouting instructions.
One voice says, choose the correct word before you speak.
Another says, don't make a grammar mistake in front of them.
A third voice asks, what will they think about my English?
And one confused employee is still looking for the correct tense.
No wonder your answer needs extra time.
We need to give that busy office a simpler system.
Another reason for long pauses is wanting to sound perfect.
You reject easy sentences because they do not sound impressive enough.
Imagine someone asks, what did you do this weekend?
You want to describe your weekend using beautiful, advanced English.
But you cannot remember the phrase you planned to use.
So you remain silent instead of choosing an easier sentence.
You could simply say, I stayed home and relaxed with my family.
Then add, we cooked dinner and watched a funny movie.
Those sentences are simple, but they communicate your message clearly.
Clear and simple English is always better than perfect silence.
Please remember that line whenever you feel pressure while speaking.
Clear and simple English is better than perfect silence.
Another problem is planning your entire answer before saying anything.
Learners sometimes prepare 4 sentences while the listener quietly waits.
Confident speakers usually begin before the complete answer is ready.
They start with one idea and build the answer gradually.
Think of speaking as walking across several small stones.
You only need to reach the next stone, not jump across everything.
Begin with one sentence such as, my weekend was quite relaxing.
While saying it, your brain can prepare the next sentence.
Then say, I stayed home on Saturday and cleaned my room.
After that, another idea may arrive naturally.
One small sentence leads you toward the next small sentence.
That is much easier than preparing a perfect speech silently.
Now, let's discuss your fear of pauses.
Many learners believe every quiet second is a serious mistake.
But confident English speakers pause when they need time to think.
A short pause can make you sound thoughtful and calm.
The real difficulty begins when that pause makes you panic.
Panic creates tension, and tension makes remembering words more difficult.
Therefore, our first technique is accepting short, natural pauses.
Take a gentle breath, keep a relaxed face, and continue.
You do not need to apologize for thinking before you answer.
Avoid saying, "Sorry, I'm terrible at English," after every pause.
That sentence makes you feel smaller and less confident.
Instead, use a natural phrase that shows you are thinking.
You can say, "Let me think for a moment."
You can also say, "That's a really good question."
Another easy option is, "Well, I would say."
Or try, "The first thing that comes to mind is."
These phrases give your brain several valuable seconds.
They also show the listener that your answer is coming.
Imagine someone asks, "Why are you learning English?"
Begin with, "That's a good question. I have several reasons."
You have started speaking even though your answer is not complete.
Now your brain has time to choose the first reason.
You might continue, "I mainly need English for my career."
Then add, "I also want to communicate when I travel."
Your answer sounds natural because the thinking phrase supports you.
Let's practice these useful thinking phrases together right now.
Repeat after me. Let me think for a moment.
Now repeat, "That's an interesting question."
Try this one. Well, I would probably say.
And one more. "How can I explain this?"
Very good. Now we will ask you 3 questions.
Use one thinking phrase before giving each answer aloud.
First question. What do you usually do after work or school?
Begin with, "Well, I usually," and answer now.
For example, well, I usually eat dinner and relax at home.
Question 2. What is one place you want to visit?
Begin with, let me think, and say your answer aloud.
For example, "Let me think, I would love to visit Malaysia."
Question 3. What helps you feel calm and happy?
Begin with, "I would say," and answer in one sentence.
For example, I would say, quiet music helps me feel calm.
Excellent. You started speaking before creating a perfect answer.
Our second technique is keeping several sentence starters ready.
Sentence starters provide a comfortable entrance into your answer.
For an opinion, you can begin with, I think.
You can also use, "in my opinion," or "for me."
To explain a reason, say, the main reason is.
Other useful choices are, "That's because," and "one reason is."
To give an example, simply begin with, for example.
To add information, use "also," or "another thing is."
These starters help you build an answer in small sections.
You are following a simple path instead of searching everywhere.
Let's use 4 steps: opinion, reason, example, and detail.
We can remember them as O, R, E, and D.
The question is, do you enjoy working from home?
Opinion. Personally, I enjoy working from home.
Reason. The main reason is that it saves time.
Example. For example, I don't travel to an office every morning.
Detail. I can also work in a comfortable and quiet space.
4 short sections created one clear and complete answer.
You do not always need to use all 4 sections.
Sometimes one opinion and one reason are completely enough.
Let's practice with the question, do you prefer mornings or evenings?
Begin with your opinion. I personally prefer.
Add your reason. That's because.
Now give an example from your daily life.
Finally, add one small detail if you can.
My answer is, I personally prefer quiet evenings.
What is your reason?
That's because I can relax after finishing my work.
Can you give us an example?
For example, I often watch a movie or listen to music.
And what is your final detail?
I also enjoy drinking tea when the house becomes quiet.
That answer was natural, clear, and easy to understand.
And I did not need any complicated words or grammar.
Now pause this episode briefly and create your own answer.
Remember the 4 steps: opinion, reason, example, and detail.
Welcome back. How did that speaking practice feel?
If you paused a little, please do not worry.
You are learning how to organize your ideas while speaking.
That skill becomes easier through regular, relaxed practice.
Our third technique is using shorter and clearer sentences.
Long sentences create pressure because they contain too many moving parts.
You may begin confidently but become lost halfway through the sentence.
That happens to me sometimes, and English is my first language.
Thank you for making everyone feel better.
I begin a sentence, take a wrong turn, and need directions home.
When that happens, short sentences can rescue your message.
Imagine you want to describe a new job,
You could attempt one very long sentence containing every important detail.
but your brain may lose the original idea before you finish.
Instead, say, I started a new job last month.
Then say, the work is interesting, but sometimes it feels difficult.
Continue with, I have many new things to learn.
Finish with, luckily, my colleagues are friendly and helpful.
Same message, less pressure, and fewer opportunities to become stuck.
Short sentences are not childish or signs of weak English.
They make your message clearer and your voice more confident.
If you lose your sentence, you can calmly repair it. Say,
Let me explain that in a simpler way.
or use, what I mean is.
Another helpful phrase is, actually, the main point is.
Confident speakers do not always create perfect sentences.
They simply know how to continue when a sentence goes wrong.
Let's imagine your sentence becomes confusing while telling a story.
You say, yesterday I wanted to go because my friend was.
You cannot remember your plan, and the sentence stops.
Take a breath and say, let me explain that again.
Then continue. My friend and I planned to visit a cafe.
The cafe was closed, so we went to a restaurant instead.
The message is now clear, and the conversation continues naturally.
Most listeners are not secretly checking every grammar mistake.
They are normally interested in understanding your meaning.
And if someone is secretly grading us during lunch?
I would like to receive my official report after dessert.
Adam communicated clearly but ordered too many fries.
That report is obviously incorrect. Too many fries do not exist.
Our fourth technique helps when you cannot remember a word.
Forgotten vocabulary can create some of the longest speaking pauses.
The word feels close, but it refuses to enter your mind.
It is hiding inside your memory and ignoring your calls.
Instead of waiting silently, describe the word using simple English.
If you forget umbrella, describe its purpose.
Say, it is the thing we use when it rains.
If you forget pharmacy, say, the shop that sells medicine.
If you forget colleague, say, a person who works with me.
If you forget charger, explain what it does.
Say, it is the thing that gives power to my phone.
The listener will understand and may tell you the missing word.
Then you can smile and say, yes, that's the word.
This is not failure, it is successful communication.
You solved a vocabulary problem using English you already knew.
Let's practice describing 3 common words together.
Imagine that you cannot remember the word refrigerator.
Say, the large kitchen machine that keeps food cold.
Now imagine you have forgotten the word dentist.
Say, the person who checks and fixes our teeth.
Finally, imagine you cannot remember the word passport.
Say, the document we need when traveling to another country.
Excellent. You kept speaking without waiting for the missing word.
That is a valuable skill in every real conversation.
Our fifth technique is learning phrases instead of isolated vocabulary.
A useful phrase arrives faster because part of your sentence is ready.
Do not learn only the single word opinion.
Learn the complete phrase. In my opinion.
Do not learn only the word agree.
Practice, I agree with you, as one smooth unit.
Do not learn only the word depends.
Learn, it depends on the situation.
These familiar groups reduce the work your brain must perform.
Let's practice some helpful phrase groups together.
Repeat, to be honest.
Repeat, as far as I know.
Say, the good thing is.
Now say, the difficult part is.
Repeat, most of the time.
And say, I'm not completely sure, but.
Now connect one phrase to a personal idea.
To be honest, I feel nervous during English meetings.
The difficult part is finding the right words quickly.
I'm not completely sure, but I think the class starts tomorrow.
Ready-made phrases make beginning and continuing much easier.
Practice them aloud until they feel familiar inside your mouth.
Our sixth technique is speaking aloud for several minutes daily.
Reading and listening alone cannot fully train your speaking muscles.
Your mouth needs practice moving smoothly between English sounds.
Your brain needs practice finding ideas while your mouth is moving.
Choose a familiar topic and speak aloud for 1 minute.
Talk about your day, family, room, work, food, or plans.
During that minute, do not stop to correct every small mistake.
Keep moving by using short sentences and familiar phrases.
You could say, well, today was quite a busy day.
I woke up early, prepared breakfast, and started working.
The morning was difficult because I had several important tasks.
The afternoon was calmer, so I finally had time for lunch.
After work, I took a short walk near my home.
Now I feel tired, but I'm happy the day is finished.
This is simple English, but it has a clear flow.
Recording yourself can also help you notice your progress.
Your first recording might sound uncomfortable or slower than expected.
Please listen like a supportive coach, not an angry critic.
Choose only one small thing to improve the next day.
You might decide, tomorrow I will use shorter sentences.
Or say, tomorrow I will use one thinking phrase.
Small improvements slowly become strong and natural speaking habits.
Here is an easy 5-minute routine you can use daily.
During minute 1, choose a simple and familiar topic.
During minute 2, write 5 useful words about that topic.
During minutes 3 and 4, speak without reading a script.
Use your 5 words only as guides for your ideas.
During minute 5, speak about the same subject one more time.
Your second attempt will usually feel easier and smoother.
Repeating a topic is not cheating, it is effective training.
Athletes repeat movements and musicians repeat the same songs.
English learners can repeat conversations until the language feels natural.
Now, let's complete one final speaking challenge together.
The topic is a place where you feel relaxed.
Start with, let me think, I feel relaxed in.
Add your reason with, that's because.
Give an example by saying, for example,
Finally, add one small and personal detail.
my answer is, I feel relaxed in a quiet garden.
Why does a garden help you feel relaxed?
That's because I enjoy fresh air and peaceful natural sounds.
Can you give us an example?
For example, I love hearing birds early in the morning.
I feel relaxed in the kitchen when someone else is cooking.
Do you help that person with the cooking?
Of course, I provide emotional support from a comfortable chair.
That sounds like an extremely important responsibility.
I also say useful things such as, that smells delicious.
This natural conversation used simple words, questions, and light humor.
You do not need advanced vocabulary to connect with another person.
Before we finish, let's quickly remember today's most important lessons.
Accept short pauses and use thinking phrases instead of panicking.
Build answers with an opinion, reason, example, and small detail.
Use short sentences and repair phrases when you lose your direction.
Describe forgotten words and learn useful phrases as complete groups.
Most importantly, practice speaking aloud for a few minutes daily.
Speaking smoothly does not mean speaking without a single pause.
It means knowing how to continue calmly after a pause.
You may still forget words or make small grammar mistakes.
Those moments do not make you a bad English speaker.
Every time you continue speaking, you strengthen your confidence.
You become confident through speaking, not before you begin speaking.
Thank you for joining us today on Learn English with Us.
If this episode helped you, please like it and subscribe.
Share it with someone who struggles with long pauses in English.
In the comments, write, when I need time, I can.
Complete that sentence with one strategy you learned in this episode.
Keep practicing, trust your voice, and we'll speak with you again soon.